Hey lads and ladies, and today I'm back with a new video, and I'm trying something a little different this time. A little something I like to call a static flash review. So basically, whenever I go to the theater to see a movie, but can't watch it on DVD or stream when I get home, I'm just going to make one of these quick reviews, and then see later on if the film is worth a full review. So I'm just going to make a quick review of this film, just my thoughts straight from the big screen, and I hope this will let me be less jumbled without other people's reviews getting in my head and altering my opinion of the film. So as of writing this script, it has been half a week since I went to the theater to see Strange World. And as I was watching the movie, I left the theater feeling null and distraught for not liking it. And it's not even Disney's worst, most forgettable film they have made, like that live action Pinocchio movie. And trust me, I know that's kind of not a fair comparison to make, but it's just to make a point. But like I said earlier, I feel bad for not liking this because, for one, I don't really like to be negative about anything, unless what I'm reviewing is really as heartless and it's really as soulless as some people say it is, and mainly because there is some good in this movie that either did not connect with me as much as it did or should have. Some of the actual issues with this movie are not what most people would have you believe, like geeks and get some bitches, critical waste of time, and bench shit in the can. Because their issue with the film is that it has a gay character in it, and by proxy, it's turning children gay. Even though that is completely dumb, and it shows that these people either don't understand or don't want to understand that seeing this character on screen is not making children gay, but it's bringing out what was already inside that child in the first place, and by proxy, now realizing who they are. And this is not an issue because you still have kids in the theater who watch this movie and who just don't relate to the character and just don't feel related to him in that aspect. So even though the kids who don't relate to that character aren't going to come out as gay, the least that the movie is going to do is that people come out as more accepting and more understanding of these people. But let's not dwell on the negative, and let's get into what I actually liked about the movie. Like, for starters, I like the idea of Pando, this energy charged plant, and how it powers everything. It allowed for some unique world design and how batteries work, and just small stuff like that elevates the movie a bit. Also, I like how Pando works, and it kind of feels like a metaphor for having a utopia and clean energy, since it's a plant. It's also interesting how this one discovery is what caused the drift between Searcher Clade and his father. And it also must be the first Disney movie to not have a dead parent once, to either play a plot point or to either make one feel sympathy for the main character. Hooray! So good on Disney for their part on doing that. And although I may not be the biggest fan of the world inside the world, but I can appreciate the level of detail put into the idea of these different cells and microorganisms being alive and serving functions in the body, as well as being giant monsters to the main characters. Just subtle, interesting design. Also, thought some of the jokes were funny too, but most were just misses for me. I can only really remember one that made me laugh, but it wasn't really even a joke, so that was kind of sad. Alright, so let's get into what I did not like about the movie. Now again, just because I did not like it does not mean that I hate it or it's a bad movie, because I can really tell underneath the surface of this movie is that there is a lot of heart that went into writing it. It's just that some parts of the film didn't click with me. For example, the fact that there are too many plot lines, or more or less too many main characters to deal with in the movie. For example, in the beginning of the movie, we know that Jaeger and Searcher Clade separated, and now they have some sense of family issue. Yeah, that's fine. That could carry the movie all well on its own. They decided to do the exact same thing with Searcher's son. And like, I know Encanto did it, but this is different because they put the focus on, well, mainly in the trailers, they put the focus on Searcher and Jaeger reforging their relationship. There was nothing about having Searcher learning how he's doing the exact same thing his father did to him, and how Searcher is doing it to his own son. That would feel like something that he would notice, and it's just that the movie has a tough time choosing between which plot to focus on, even though they all relate to each other, and focusing on only one character, but able to tie these both together, because you could have Searcher amending his relationship with his father, and by proxy, realizing how he's doing the same thing to his son. Or you could have Searcher try and understand his son and realize what he's doing, what he did, or what he's doing to his son in the process, and realizing, understanding from his father's perspective why he wanted Searcher to be an explorer. Just a small yet effective change like that could have made the film so much better, because not only did it have a character to focus on, but it still could have kept all of its main plot points and the powerful ending. Again, just to be clear, I do not hate this movie, and I do not like the hate thing. I just point out what could have been better, but this movie did a lot of things, and I had a hard time focusing on one. But I agree with the audience scores about this being a painfully average 6.2 out of 10, even though this clearly could have been so much more, and it should have been so much more.